chilly, rainy morning. I had to delay my ride because I woke up at 4:30. I was gonna go ride right away, but it was literally pitch black. So, one second. Something wild happens. Let's do it, man. Yep, so woke up 4:30. Had planned an hour ride and then straight into an hour run. Then an upper body day and pouring rain, and it was literally pitch black. So I said, fuck that. We're gonna wait a little bit. When it gets a little more light, we're gonna get it in. Just finished up an hour bike ride. Now we're on our run. About 10 minutes in, 7:07 pace. It's fucking wet as shit out here. It's a good morning. Good morning. I got to bust my ass. Morning cardio is done. Time to get some grub in. Did things a little bit differently. I wanted to get a bike ride in at some point this week before I go back to work tomorrow. So I made a couple sacrifices throughout the last 3 or 4 days to make sure that this morning I was relatively free to do a ride and a run. So we did our bike ride first, and then we went straight into a run. I'll go over the mileage and everything there in just a second. Kind of go through my breakfast here. And then I'll kind of get to a good topic I want to talk about real quick. But for the ride itself, we did a 50-minute bike ride, which ended up being about 11 miles. I did it kind of in peak time of when everyone is literally driving to work and school buses are going around. We have a high school and a middle school literally down the street from my house. So there's a lot of traffic, and I try not to be too much of a douchebag and kind of follow the traffic properly. So 50-minute, 11-mile bike ride, came straight home, slammed about another 400 milligrams of sodium in just, electrolyte packets. And then we went straight into our run. The run was also 50 minutes long. It was 6.7 miles for a 7:28 pace, something along those lines there. I got up this morning. I think I mentioned earlier, I get up around 4:30 every morning to get my cardio or whatever training done and then get started with my day. It was way too damn dark. Usually I'm not too concerned, but definitely didn't want to be on the road when it was that dark and it was pouring down rain. So for breakfast, what we're having is 3 whole eggs that are cooking up right now, 100 grams of oats, and then we're going to do a scoop of this banana nut bread protein powder. This is delicious. We'll also get a banana because this thing is ready to go. Do a little bit of honey and some cinnamon and whip that up. I don't know the exact macros, but it's going to be somewhere around 40 grams of protein, probably 140, 130, 140 grams of carbs, maybe a little bit over on both of those. But that's relatively the same meal that I have every morning. On the weekends when my wife is off work, we'll do something a little bit different. But usually it's oats or sourdough, and eggs, a shake, yogurt, cottage cheese. Typically eating the same thing, just whipping it up a little bit different to mix it up. Now, kind of a topic, something I want to mention here is a lot of times when I post on my Instagram, people ask me, how do you have that much time to train? Like I'll post a run in the morning and then I'll post my, lift in the afternoon, and they're like, wow, you must be working out, 3.5, 4 hours a day. I mean, it's a pretty common thing for people to do, is like message me or text me and be like, how are you doing that? Do you not have any other responsibilities? Although that just sounds really silly. But no, it's just efficient and being efficient with your time and time management. No one's forcing me to get up at 4 a.m. or 4:30. I get up because I really want to get an hour run in or an hour and a half run in before my wife even wakes up, so that doesn't interfere with our time together. I've talked about this a million times on the channel, but a great example was I got off work Sunday morning for my 4 days off, got off Sunday, spent plenty of time with her pretty much the whole day. Monday had class for 9 hours. Yesterday had class for 9 hours. And when I came home both of those evenings, I made sure that all the responsibilities that I have to take care of before I go back to work tomorrow are taken care of before Thursday. But I was a little bit extra busy Monday and Tuesday, so that this morning on Wednesday when I got up, I had a relatively free schedule for majority of my morning into lunchtime, specifically because I wanted to get a bike ride in, and I also was going to run today. So I knocked out some chores, knocked out some things I needed to do for work, and that in order to have this morning free so that I could do 2 hours of cardio, do an hour bike ride and a hour run. I mean, it was 50 minutes, but having 2 hours free in the morning, not everyone can do that. But it's just time management. Even if you work a regular Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 job, when I was doing that, I was still getting up before I go to work and getting, an hour run in, or, sometimes even 10 miles of running in before I got to work. Go to bed a little bit sooner, wake up a little bit sooner, or, earlier, and, get it done. I think it's vitally important to have that done before everything else in your day smacks you in the face, and then you just start making a bunch of excuses. So that's a little rant there that I wanted to go on. Yeah, I mean, people act as if I don't have any responsibilities or whatever, and that's not the case. Or they say, yeah, you're a firefighter, you work a day and then you're at home, and then you work a day, then you're at home, and then you get 4 days off of work. That's why you can train like that. I mean, that's not necessarily the case. Some days when I'm at work, we don't have time to eat. I mean, you're so exhausted from work the following day when you are off of work, where training becomes very difficult. It's sacrifice in some areas to have some free time in other areas that, in my opinion, are very, very important. Staying up late on your phone on the couch when, at the end of the night, just chilling, scrolling through your phone, put it down and go to bed, and then get up in the morning and get a run in or get a workout in. I mean, it's simple as that. But that's something that I know a lot of people struggle with. I didn't always have this outlook. I would just kind of work out whenever I could. And, if I didn't have time, it would be like, oh, shit, whatever, this got in the way. But now I make time. And I think it's important that, even if you have kids and stuff like that, you can get up before they wake up in the morning and get something done. But throwing this meal down, it's still hot as shit. I'm going to eat, go take a shower. As promised to the doggies, they certainly held me to it. The dogs live a hybrid lifestyle too, you know what I mean? They run, walk, eat. They definitely eat, especially these two. We do some rucking, some hiking. I haven't really quite figured out how to get them lifting yet. But so this spot right here is real close to the house. The high school is actually right there. You probably can't see, but there's the football field, the stadium. So this little field right here is pretty sweet. I like to bring them here and let them off their leashes, chase their balls and kongs and all that. After the week I've had, I guess I'm at roughly, close to 30 miles now in the last 4 days. So the options were take them on a 4 or 5 mile walk or come out here to the field and let them chase their balls. So I went with that. It's a little bit less work for me, and I think they get way more out of the running than the walking. It's been raining for like the last 3 days, so our yard is completely fucked. But yeah, still try to accommodate my dog's needs, as silly as some of you may think that sounds, but I don't have kids, so it's kid practice, I suppose. Legs are kind of feeling it. I'm not going to lie to you. We hit a lower body day the other day. We got 9 miles in yesterday morning, and then I went to class all day. Last night, after I got home, I just chilled. I did like a 10-minute core circuit in the garage, and did some little stretching and stuff like that, and got some decent sleep. So this morning, got a bike. Especially during the biking portion this morning, I was like, damn, my legs are a little fried right now. And then running, I don't know. I have some coworkers and friends and stuff like that are a little bit newer to running and everything. I'm gonna go over here, probably go off camera for a second to get their ball. But I have some friends that are kind of newer, getting into like running and kind of more cardio training along with the lifting. Obviously, as firefighters, being fit is very important, not only for the public, but if some shit happens to you, the more fit you are, the more likely you are to be able to tolerate whatever situation's going on. But some newer friends getting into it and stuff, and I'll kind of coach them through some running workouts, and we kind of do like hybrid training at work as a group, where in the mornings we'll do run/walks, because not all of them can go for 60 minutes straight of running. So run, walk, whatever it may be. And then we'll do some lifts, kind of like some group lifts in the evening, because we have a gym there at the station. But one of my buddies particularly has been talking about getting into like the triathlon races and stuff like that. I've looked at the half Ironman, the 70.3s, all of those. Number one, every single one of them that is for the remainder of this year of 2024 is on a day that I work, or it is the race. I'll work either the day before or the day following the race. And the closest one to me, I live in Virginia, but the closest one to me is in Georgia, so it's not extremely far. It's a good haul, though. It's a good trip for me. But I worked the very following day, so I'd have to take off work to do that, which, that's an event I'd take off work for anyways. I don't want to be super rushed. But I don't know. I haven't spent any time in a pool, haven't spent any time swimming, and the race in Wilmington in October, here in a couple weeks, the 70.3, all of the, like general admission tickets are taken up, and I think the cheapest option is like $1,300. So I don't want to spend $1,300, go out there and completely fucking bomb the swim portion, because I'll be honest, I don't swim. I haven't swam in a very long time. But we've been looking at some of these, smaller races that are close to us within, 2 or 3 hours. They're not like full half triathlons. They may be like a 12-mile bike ride, a 7-mile run, and then an 800-meter swim or something. So we might get into some of those just to do it with the coworkers, just to have fun, do like an event like that. But doing the Ironman stuff, Ironman training, is something I've thought about for a very long time. There's people all over YouTube that we know that, do like the hybrid stuff, triathlon training and lifting and everything. Right now, with how I'm training and work, and I'm taking on 2 additional classes at work to get some certifications to help me with my career and everything, my future career. I honestly don't know if I could fit in on top of what I'm doing with the running. I'm biking now maybe once or twice a week, and that's kind of just to get some ride time in. I'm not prioritizing riding at all. It's something, if I have extra time, I'll get a ride in. But for right now, I'm running over hopping on the bike. And to be honest with you, lifting is more important to me right now than, getting ride time. But if I have some spare time, I'll hop on the bike. So there's absolutely no way I could fit in getting time in the pool as well. Also, with the kind of the crappy part is, one of the gyms I go to is like a 24/7 private gym. You just scan your badge, you go in there. It's more of like a, like a powerlifting gym. They have some good bodybuilding equipment too. That gym does not have a pool. It's kind of like your low key, private gym. We have a recreational gym that we have a membership at. I have it primarily for my wife because she likes to go there. They have a pool, but the hours they open up, 5:30 is kind of tough for me because the days that I'm not at work, I'm still at the training center running PT with the recruit classes and all that stuff. And that starts at 6 or 6:30. So I'd have like a 30-minute window to get in, get some pool time, and then, get to the training center. So I don't know. We'll reevaluate some things here in a couple months and see if that's still a goal I want to pursue going into 2025. I think it'd be really fucking legit to get a half Ironman in and then go on and do a full one. But there's got to be some give and take as far as the lifting, running, biking. If I was in like an Ironman prep, I don't know, I'd probably lift 2 times a week or something. Maybe not even that, maybe 2 full body days a week. I don't know. But yeah, so that's kind of some future goals, some things I've been thinking about. I have some half marathons coming up that we'll be doing. Other than that, I don't have anything specific to train for. I'm going to continue running the way I am, continue lifting the way I am, and I'd like to put on a couple pounds. I'm working on eating more. Every time everyone sees me now, they're like, "Are you even fucking eating?" Which I don't know if that's a compliment or not. But so going to take this fall and like winter to really, again, kind of get down to where I started on the basics with running, as far as just time on my feet, low heart rate, slow runs, get that mileage in, so that into next year, into 2025, we can try to set some like big PRs on runs and do a full marathon, try to PR one of those, PR a half, maybe look into some of them half Ironmans. There's a lot of shit that I want to do, but when I start thinking about a whole lot of it, I kind of just get all over the place. Like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. It's a good thing to be optimistic, but also you need to be realistic on your time. Obviously I have a tiny fucking channel. I don't make any money from this, and maybe one day I will, but I have a full-time job. I have some stuff I do on the side. I'm in classes, work a lot of overtime. So I don't get to do this all day. The time that I do have, I try to be efficient with and create time for training. So along with that, kind of some other things I'm working on. If you're familiar with like the Playbook app, which is an app that you can get on and purchase all sorts of different workout programs. There's all sorts of shit on there. I ran like Nick Bare's hybrid athlete stuff, 2 years ago or something, as an example. There's all sorts of content creator programs on there, and there is a Playbook creator app. There's not really much of a requirement for you to become a creator and start posting stuff. So I've been doing that as well, throwing some programs on there for, $2 or $3. I'm not expecting to make a lot of money off of it or anything, but it's just for experience, just to get write a bunch of programs. I have done that many times as far as programming for people. I've never been compensated for it. Most of it's for friends, coworkers, my wife, family members, that type of stuff, family members of friends. And I get pretty good feedback as far as I've narrowed it down to, now I can confidently say I know what I'm doing when it comes to, all right, does this person want to, primarily put size on? Are they looking for like just strength? Do they not want to gain weight? Do they want to lose weight? I went through so much trial and error. I was extremely overweight, in high school, and everyone's like, oh, you just grew out of it. Well, not really. I'm not a very tall fucking dude. I didn't grow out of it. I actually worked my ass off to get it off. So I know what it's like. And yes, I do have a certification for strength and conditioning and personal training and nutrition and all that, which doesn't mean, I didn't go and get an actual degree in it. I took a course and passed the course and got a certification and a license to do so, to train people. I don't necessarily work at a gym doing that, but family members, friends, that type of stuff. I've written several programs for people to follow, and I get, pretty good feedback from them. Most of right now is some sort of cardio in their program, and then some sort of resistance training. Obviously, that's, my favorite style of training. But I have a friend who wants to gain weight, who I kind of helped him learn how to track his calories, hit his goals, how he should be training, getting plenty of rest, because he doesn't want to run. He wants to put size on, and he doesn't want to feel like shit doing so. So he wants to gain weight, put some size on. Then I have other folks who want to lose weight, put on some lean muscle, that type of stuff, and track their calories. So the Playbook Creator app is something I've just been fooling around with. It doesn't take a whole lot of work. Yeah. Look at these dudes. I'm about to get shit on right now. But yeah, it doesn't take like a ton of work for me to write them. I actually enjoy doing so, doing like 3-day splits, 3 days of running, 3 days of lifting, 2 days of lifting, 4 days of running, or 2 days of running, 4 days lifting, whatever variation you want. My wife, she's extremely busy too, and I helped her find a kind of a split or a program that works for her, which is 3 days of lifting, 3 days of running. And that seems to be working for her, and she enjoys that. So you don't have to wake up in the mornings and run an hour and a half, and then spend an hour in the gym that same day. You can make great gains from doing them on separate days as well. I just really like to do so. And my benefit at work is I have a gym. I have the ability to do that. When I'm at work for 24 hours, I have an entire day to do certain things that I want to do. Obviously, training for work comes first. Running calls comes first as well. So no, I'm not always guaranteed to have that time. But that's kind of why I have some buffer days in, and my schedule is kind of based off of like a 9-day split, or like a 9-day programming, opposed to just your general 7 days of training. Because if I got something scheduled and this day I'm doing lower body at work and we run calls all fucking day and I haven't eaten and any of that stuff, probably not going to train that night. I'll probably just wait till I get off of work and I'll train the following day. Or vice versa, if I'm feeling all right, Mila's taking a crap. Come on now. If I'm feeling all right and I get my workout done at work, then that following day when I'm at home, that just gives me more time to chill and do family stuff and work on some programming, kind of work on some part-time work, and boom, goes both ways. So I think people have this, I know I touched on it earlier, as far as like people always message me like, how do you have enough time? Do you like not do anything else? Do you only train? Do you only this? Well, no, I don't only train, because then I wouldn't have a house, I wouldn't have money, I'd probably look a whole lot fucking better than I do. I'd probably be a lot more jacked, whatever. That's supposed to be a joke. But no, it's just time, being efficient with your time. Everyone has time. It's you can personally think in your life right now, like most people think they're the busiest people they know in their own life. But if you think of someone who's like extremely busy, even they likely still have time to train. And there's a couple years ago, I would say really, I've been training for a decade now. it was maybe a little longer than a decade, honestly. I mean, I was working out with my brother when I was really young, when he was getting into working out, and I was super overweight, you know, really unhealthy. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but at least I was kind of getting into it and learning things, and learning what sets are, learning what reps are, learning how to bench, learning how to squat, deadlift, you know, doing all these exercises. And I've been training for a while. I went through a powerlifting phase where 4 or 5 years, like, that's all I really enjoyed doing, was trying to be as strong as I possibly could. Didn't really care much of how I looked, because I went from 300 pounds down to like 130 pounds. I had no muscle definition. I was just kind of like skinny fat. I guess that's like the term people use now. Really weak, got into lifting, kind of backed off of the running, because that's all I knew back then, was to lose weight was for me to eat less and to fucking run. And I couldn't even run around the block one time. And then I went out there and tried again and tried again and tried again. And it was honestly the best decision that I've ever made. Yes, I was in my early to like late teens, but that kind of never went away. Like, that running was always a part of me. Now, really, I would say about 2 years ago is when I really was like, all right, starting to run again. This shit is addicting, you know, like, I can't believe I quit doing this. I wish I would have been doing the hybrid style stuff for the last 10 years. Like, where could I be with that right now? Because I was doing powerlifting, putting up good numbers, and I was trying to get into some like local meets and things like that. And it was just so much pain, like, you know, pulling 500 plus pounds 2 times a week on deadlifts, and then squatting almost 500 pounds and benching. And I was like, I don't know if this is worth it, man. Honestly, I'm eating a shit ton. I'm feeling like shit. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love that. And I applaud all the people that are in like the powerlifting community that can put up these crazy numbers. I mean, that is wonderful, because I myself can't do so. I mean, I still try to do some strength days, but there's some people that I see online, these content creators, and for their weight and the numbers they're pulling, I mean, that is not easy at all. Very few and a small percentage of the world can achieve, you know, some of those numbers. But 2 years ago, roughly, is when I was like, all right, I need to take this seriously, because this could get me in a pretty good fucking place as far as optimal health, feeling good, body recomp, you know, all that stuff. And that's when I started doing like Nick Bare's programming, and it's like, man, this shit is hard. You know, I got running this much, lifting this much, and I was trying to, that's how I started. Separate days of running, separate days of lifting. And you just have to build upon that, right? And then this goes to the time management and people reaching out to me, like, you must only train. It's all you do every day, right? And you don't have other responsibilities. No, but it takes some time, right? Like, when I when I started doing the hybrid stuff, you know, I'd see people like Nick Bare. I mean, I just keep saying Nick Bare because he's a very well-known hybrid athlete. I mean, if not the most well-known, you know. And I'd see him be like, man, fuck, I want to run 12 miles in the morning, and I want to go lift. And I'd try and be like, dude, this is fucking impossible. How do you do this? So you have to start small, and you have to build upon that. And with these people that I'm helping in my personal life, that's something that like they see me do. And by no means am I saying I'm some like crazy athlete. I think what I do is very, I mean, it's pretty impressive in my opinion. If you don't think so, that's fine. But, you know, in my opinion, and other folks around me seem to think so too, that, you know, getting up, being disciplined, waking up and hitting an 8 to 10, 12, whatever mileage you have that day, doing that and properly, you know, timing your meals and getting your nutrition down right, so that that same evening, 4, 5, 6, however many hours later, you can have like a max effort workout, right? And get gains in both aspects of running and lifting. But that takes some time, right? It's these videos and Instagram and stuff, you only see a percentage of what these content creators' lives are like, right? Most of the time, they're only showing you the good shit. But I mean, everyone feels beat up. Everyone feels like shit. But in my opinion, it is 1,000% worth it. Just looking back where I was, even just like a year ago, as far as running and lifting, weight-wise and everything, you you know, I have a good time recovering from these, you know, just in like July and August, man. There was weeks I was running 60 miles a week and still lifting 4 days per week, and I would be able to consistently do that week after week after week. And your body has to adapt to that, you know. I mean, at first it's painful, but the reward is a couple months later or a couple years later, like your blood work, everything looks better, you feel better, you look better aesthetically, you're in a better mood, you're a better person for the folks around you. In my case, I can serve my community better, you know, I can, you know, carry my gear better, I can do whatever the fuck I want. That's kind of what that feeling is like. It's like, you know, when you go hit a good ass workout and you leave and you're like, oh, I feel invincible, right? I feel so good, like no one can make me feel like shit right now. That's that feeling you should be chasing every single day. And that's your own motivation. You don't need someone to tell you, oh, you look good, man, or wow, that's fucking impressive. You just bench 3 plates or whatever. Fuck that. You don't need that. 95% of the time when I'm working out by myself, there's not even people there. So I don't have anyone to tell me anything. But if you can make yourself feel like that, don't rely on someone else. That's all within you, and you can do some good shit, some good impressive stuff for yourself. So I'm going on a rant here, but I guess that's what happens when you get up early and have 3 cups of coffee and think you're the shit. But so I think people can push themselves much more than they personally think. I also think that everyone has some time to get some training in, some good quality training. You know, there's a lot of people that I know, and whoever watches this video, you can think of people in your own life that don't really take exercise seriously for whatever reason, but there's so much research out there on why being fit or being healthy is very important for the longevity of your life. If anything, you don't have to train for events, and you don't have to train for medals, and you don't have to train to be the fastest person in your state or the strongest person in your state. The number one reason you should be training is to be a healthy person and to stay on the planet as long as you possibly can. There's something I have a hard time sharing with people, or I guess them accepting it, and they think it's kind of corny and sounds funny, but wake up in the mornings, right? Wake up in the mornings the next couple days or tomorrow or whenever you watch the video. Wake up the next day and just accept that you have a limited amount of time on Earth, right? You're not going to be here forever. It might feel like, you know, it's been forever and you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or however old you are. I mean, think back how fast the last fucking year flew by, right? Think about how much time you have and what you're doing with that time, right? Just every morning when I get up, I'm like, hey, one day I'm going to be like 70 years old, right? We all are. I'm going to be 70, 80 years old. And that's what I think about every time I get up. So this next hour and a half that I have before I have to get out the door and get to work, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, am I going to sit on my ass and scroll on my phone or hop on Xbox? Or am I going to get up? Am I going to grind a little bit and be able to function better, right? Today, tomorrow, 3 weeks from now, 6 months from now, 5, 10 years from now, when I have a kid, am I going to set them an example of what I think is a better way to live? Just think about, you know, time isn't unlimited, and what are you going to do with that time? That's kind of the number one motivator for me. Is I don't have to be a part of a team, or I don't have to be as far as like a fitness team or something like that, just throwing something random out there. You don't have to train for specific numbers or to be the best at something, but you should be training to be the best person you personally can be. And I'm a firm believer that when you can get up and get your shit done in the gym or run some miles, that brings the best version out of so many people. I won't specifically say, you know, names or anything like that, but I know someone personally in my life that here in the last couple months has been busting their ass in trying to lose some weight and become healthier. And I've seen this person go from like just completely became a totally different person, like behavior wise, attitude wise, fitness wise, moves way better. It's amazing what it can do if you can just find something that works for you and stick with that. I know when I get up and sometimes I feel like shit, sometimes I'm in a bad mood, I don't want to do stuff just like everyone in this planet, but the best medicine to that is getting all that shit out. Getting our lift in now. Yeah, I'm lifting in the Burks right now. I'm in my own garage doing upper body. Don't try to play me, you know what I mean? So upper body, what we're going to do is starting off with some close grip bench, somewhere between 5 to 8 reps. Nothing too crazy. We got 3 chest moves. We have 1 shoulder move, 2 back moves, and then a arm superset for the end. So that's what we're going to knock out here for the close grip bench to start off with. I just finished warming up. It's pretty fucking hot in the garage already, but just did some warming up. We'll probably I did 1 set already, so I'll probably do 3 or 4 more sets depending on how the third one goes. And then we'll move into some of the other work there. So let's get it started, you know what I mean? Let's get it started. Let's see here. Fucking hip is cramping up. That was bad, but 5. Probably could have gone a little bit closer with the hands, but no biggie. No biggie. All right, so between my morning cardio and now, 1:15 in the afternoon. So it's been like 4 hours since I got done with the biking and the running. Had a pretty solid breakfast. I just had a pretty big lunch maybe 2 hours ago, a little under 2 hours ago. Another, I'd say like 140 grams of carbs. I'd have to look at my phone, but other 140 grams of carbs, like 15 grams of fat, and a little under 45 grams of protein. It was just rotisserie chicken, 2 cups of rice, some guacamole, some hot sauce, salt, pepper, boom. But yeah, typically I'll try to eat, especially for, I don't mind running fasted. I usually get up and have some sort of like electrolyte powder, sodium, that type of stuff before the run. But I hate lifting fasted. So that's usually why I'll do my cardio in the morning. I mean, just like most people do. I don't like lifting fasted. So always, if I have to do a lift in the morning, whatever, but preferably get the runs in, get the meals in, and then get the lift in after we get some food in us. So while we're on that topic, food-wise, typically I'm eating like 4 meals a day with 1 or 2 snacks. And the way I usually do it is I'll eat carbs post-run, definitely eating majority of my carbs before my lift, and then the meal following the lift will be moderately carb heavy. And then if I have another meal or 2 after that, the carbs are pretty low, and just so I'm not super stuffed when I lay down to go to bed. But typically don't have a problem getting in like 350, 400 grams of carbs between my first meal and the meal following my lift. So usually by the evening time or at the end of the night, I don't have a whole lot more carbs to shoot for. Right now I'm eating somewhere between 450 and 500. Calories are again like 3,400, so we might play with those a little bit and see. I'm not gaining much weight. I'm kind of staying right around my same weight, which is around 168 right now. Sometimes when I go to work and we're super busy and I don't know, it's just when you're super busy doing stuff all day, and plus if I work out at work and run a bunch of calls, get up the next morning, come home, weigh myself, and I'm like 3 pounds lighter. So might have to bump up the calories there, but we'll see. Let's knock another set out real quick. And it's not supposed to be that heavy for me right now. I think I did narrow grip bench almost 3 weeks ago, and I think I was repping this for like 8. So we'll see how this one goes, and we'll adjust if needed. All right. Yeah, something about right there. Need to adjust that probably. Moved on to some incline bench. Definitely definitely a little bit weaker right now, probably from this morning, but that's okay. Probably could have postponed the lift to even gotten one more meal in and then hit a lift. Just to give you an example, I've been doing like a log book recently, so that obviously I've always tracked, what my lifts are, what weights, what reps and stuff like that to try to progressively overload. And now I've been a little bit more strict with it, opposed to it just being on my phone and I'll, casually view it. Now it's physically written in a notebook. And so it's a lot easier for me to read that, sets and weights, or sets and reps of what weight, how many miles I ran, roughly like calorie wise, just to kind of see a trend there. How did I feel is kind of a big one too. So I don't really look at it every single day. But maybe towards the end of every single week, I'll just kind of glance at it going into the following week and be like, all right, what did we do last week? You can kind of remember it all in your head, but in my opinion, it's a little bit better to have a way of logging all that. You don't have to pay for a special app or whatever. Just buy a notebook, write it down. It's easier for me to view it that way. Enzo, it's easier for me to view that way. Let me see what he's working at here. No. Come in here, guys. Mila, Enzo, come here. Mila. Enzo's trying to break out the damn sunroom. Come on, inside. Let's go. Get inside. Go. Yeah, so you don't have to, spend money on an app or anything like that. Just get a notebook, write it all down. That's what I've been doing. It's easier to read. And example, the reason I say this is just on Sunday, my other upper body day, I started off the workout with 4 sets of 8 to 12 on incline bench. So I did a 185, a 45, and a 25, and I was getting the first 3 reps. I was hitting 10 and 11, or the first 3 sets, I was hitting 10 and 11. I think it was 11, 11, 10, and then on that last set, I think I hit 10 again. Yes, I started off the lift with that movement, and Sunday was an off day. Well, it wasn't an off day, but I had a short mileage. I think it was 5 miles that I ran on Sunday, and I hit an afternoon workout, much bigger time frame between this morning and what I'm lifting now. I think it was probably 8 or 9 hours between my run and my lift on Sunday. And this right here with less weight is kind of difficult to hit right now. it's probably a combination of just tiredness and this morning's cardio. Probably could have gotten another meal in and then trained, but really just trying to knock it out here, relax, spend some time, and take care of a couple things here at home. But either way, still good. We didn't start with this move, so, kind of expected for that second move to be a little bit less than potentially if you started with it. But trying to get some good reps in. We'll do 3 sets here of incline because my last upper day I had already done some incline work. So we'll only do 3 sets here. We'll shoot for probably 8 to 12 again as well. And then I'll kind of go over how I gauge my reps and increasing weight and everything. Let's try to get one more. Yep. So with weights, reps, sets, the way I do it to make sure I'm progressing each week or attempting to progress each week, I guess. And it doesn't have to always be increasing weight, right? Increase sets, reps. What I have a buddy of mine doing since he's used to work out several years ago, took a pretty big break from it, and now he's getting back into it, has been for a couple months. So this like auto regulation of I don't come in here with like preset weights. I'll warm up, see how I'm feeling, find something to start with, and then work from that. So if I have, let's say I got 4 sets of this, and if I'm going to hit 4 or 8 to 12 reps, that's kind of my range. Or 8 to 10, something like that. I usually do for moves like this, like more compound moves, I'll do like 8 to 12 or 5 to 8. And then for, if I'm doing like cable work or arms, bicep, triceps, it'll be, 12 to 16 or 16 to 20 or something. But so if I have 4 by 8 to 12 on this, let's say I hit 10 reps on set 1, I'll keep the weight where it is. Hit 9 reps on set 2, I'll keep the weight where it is. Set 3, let's say I hit 7. Okay, so 7, kind of close to 8, right? But could I have squeezed out another rep? It doesn't necessarily have to be to complete failure. I try to train with like somewhere between 1 to 3 reps in reserve. But if I hit 7 reps and I'm thinking in my head like, yeah, shit, I probably could have hit another one, right? I could have pushed myself a little bit more and hit another one. I'll do it again, the same weight. But if I hit 6 reps and I like really, really was pushing to get that set done, that's 2 off from the goal that I had set for that set. Now I'm going to drop the weight probably by 5 or 10 pounds. But if you're kind of maintaining all your sets within that range that you've established, probably a decent weight there. If you, let's say you go in and you got 8 to 10 reps, right, on this right here, and you hit like 16 reps on your first set, you need to add some weight. Or it would be a good idea to add some weight because that's obviously not as challenging as you thought it was. So that's kind of the way I do it. I think it's like the most simple way to make sure you're progressing each week. You can do that for X amount of weeks, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks. Take a couple days off or take a week off and boom, restart. As far as exercise selection goes, I'll jump into that here in a second. Hit this other set here.
dropped out a little bit too fast. All right. Probably thinking, why the fuck are you wearing a backpack? Well, it's a rucksack, and we're doing deficit push-ups. So I got 30 pounds here. I have a 20-pound actual like a rucksack plate. It kind of slides into the pocket. And I got 2 5s. So we got 30 pounds. Trying to push it up, keep it high. Definitely don't underestimate the deficit push-ups, especially weighted ones. So these probably shoot for, definitely doing 3 sets, might do a 4th one. Rep range, I don't know, we'll shoot for 12 to 15 if we can. These things are brutal because, especially for me, I'll get to like 10, 11, be like, yeah, I got like 4 or 5 more. Go back down and my ass ain't coming back up sometimes. They'll humble you quickly. Enzo keeps taking my damn spot right here, but we'll see if we can squeeze in here. So 30 pounds, deficit push-ups, give them a try if you don't do them much. I usually do these after some of the compound moves there. But yeah, this right here is going to be the final move for our chest. We got some lateral raises. We'll do some pull-ups, bicep, tricep superset, and that'll be it there. I don't need to, we don't need to do 15 different exercises for our upper body. So let's get this in here real quick. See if I can fit with Enzo's big ass in the way. Get your damn arm over, boy. Chest to the ground. Might even just get 10. That's good, we'll take that. All right, we got 3 sets weighted. I'm gonna do 1 set with no weights. Also, I'm gonna say my coworker just texted me and asked me if I could show him some an arm workout. So instead of me doing the arm superset I was gonna do right after this, I'll just wait till I get to work tomorrow and do an arm workout with him. Tomorrow, all I was gonna do at work was run and do some core stuff, but throwing arms in isn't a big deal. Honestly, it might be a decent idea. From all the pressing here, maybe just throw it in tomorrow, and that way I can just do it with him. So do this, we got some pull-ups to do, and then we'll do some lateral raises, and that'll be it. So efficiency, huh? Maybe I can just pick her up and do some weighted deficit push-ups that way. Fucking already hurts.
Oh, fuck.
Oh man. Anyone else have some of these power block fucking adjustable dumbbells from when they were kids? Pretty sweet, right? I think they're like 20 years old. 20 pounds. See a lateral raise. Honestly, I usually do 2 sets of lateral raises 2 times a week. Well, 3 times a week. Or at least I have been the last several weeks. I don't really train. I do sometimes, but as far as shoulder pressing, you get so much activation on the front side from doing pressing, benching, dumbbell work, whatever it is. And when it comes to shoulders, I'm usually focusing on the side laterals. Maybe occasionally every couple weeks, I'll do a military press or like a Smith machine military press or something like that, or a standing overhead press. Usually do it a little bit heavier. I know that's pretty big for us. Sorry, for work, to be able to like standing press some pretty decent weight. That's really the only reason that I do it. But when I'm training shoulders or when I'm training an upper body day, mostly just hitting some side laterals. So get into this right here. I think this thing's got there's some spider webs on it. So that's just an additional, 2 pounds per web. Fuck. Fuck. Ah, fuck. Do we even lift or what? I don't know. Can't really tell, do we? Do we even lift? Not really. Lift is complete. Lift is done. Training for the day is done. Now it's time for a post-workout meal. Something that helped me when I was dieting down was when I crave sweet stuff. I usually have it directly after my lift or workout. This is healthy. It's not just like some junk food or whatever. But there's ways to make like sweet treats and sweet meals to help kill your cravings. Most of the time after my lift, I'll do something like Greek yogurt with granola and fruit and some sort of protein bar or something similar to that. So here I have 2 servings of regular plain Greek yogurt, like out of a tub. 2 servings of that. I have a serving of Raisin Bran cereal, or it's like an off brand of Raisin Bran. The reason I use cereal instead of granola, I'm not that big on like granola. I don't like crave it or want it all the time. Number one, I get like 10 to 12 servings of this cereal compared to like 4 or 6 in a box of granola. Number 2, the cereal is way cheaper. Number 3, the macros on it are better, so I can have more of this. I mean, better in a sense. I mean, if you're looking to put weight on, yeah, granola would be better. But I can get more of this cereal in, which to me is important because if I'm hungry, I want to eat a little bit more. And if I can not have a shit ton of calories in it, that's great for me. And 145 grams of blueberries. I try to have fruit, 2 or 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and I might have some fruit this evening. So that's what's in the bowl. And then I like to try out new bars when we go to like the grocery store, pick some up, especially if they're on like the clearance aisle or sale or whatever. Cheap, just check them out, see what they are, look at the nutrition facts and see if it's something that you like. This is dark chocolate, cherry, and almond. Kate's Real Food is the brand. And this is more of like a nutrition bar, not really a protein bar, but 130 calories. There's 2 servings, so 260 calories in this, 40 grams of carbs, and in total will be about 10 grams of protein. I need to make up some carbs for the remainder of the day, so that will be good for me right there too. But this is a pretty standard post-workout meal. Again, if you're like craving something bad throughout the day, try to have it, like after your workout or before the workout. This to me is just very rewarding and tasty. I much rather eat this than eat like chicken, broccoli, rice, or beef or whatever it is. I eat pretty good. I make my meals taste good, but this is like my favorite meal of the day post lift. So I don't have to, crave something sweet the remainder of the day or eat something shitty at night. So that's going to wrap up the video for today. I appreciate you guys watching. Just a quick recap. Got a good ride in this morning. Got some good miles in. Got an upper body training day. I may record some stuff tomorrow at work if I can. The plan is I was going to hit a little bit of arms in there, but again, we're going to do that tomorrow at work and maybe do like a short circuit at work, like a 20-minute circuit, probably after we do the arm workout. But plan is to run some miles in the morning and get some arm work in the evening. I'll try to bring you guys along with me throughout the day and record what I can. But yeah, so what I talked about earlier, find that purpose, find that time to get some work done, find that time to grind. It will only benefit you, make you a better person, make you better for other people in your life, make you more motivated. I think there is a mental resiliency that's built from doing physical training, physical work. In this regard, it's exercising and working out. There's significant mental benefits to that as well, depending on, it doesn't depend on your career, but I always kind of relate something to like public service and being a first responder. But that's why so many firefighters and first responders are big into exercise, is because that supplements that mental resiliency as well. You don't have to be a firefighter to think that way, but there is very few reasons to find that exercising would negatively impact, if you're doing it safe, obviously, right? And you don't have any sort of limitations to that. Push yourself, find the time. You definitely can do it. You don't have to train 3-4 hours a day. You can do it separate, but some training is better than none. So that's a wrap. I appreciate it. See y'all. Love y'all. Comment some stuff. Tell me what you think. Tell me why you work out, what motivates you. Tell me what you eat after your workouts. And yeah, peace.